gold down there, Diane. There's gold down there.
You're like their number one favorite guy. Because you won them cash. Hi and welcome to the Tour Report from Secret Golf. This week we're talking about a team event. It's the Zurich Classic of New Orleans and we will give you our full re-ranked field in just a little while. But first up, it was the RBC Heritage at Harbour Town Golf Links in Hilton Head, and Elk Stewart Sink winning the event for the third time and becoming the only player this season to have 2 wins under his belt after taking the Safeway Open at the end of 2020. I mean, amazing for Stuart and his son Regan on the bag.
Yeah, we talked, of course, last week about Stewart Sink being our sizzler pick last week, the one that we don't quite know why he plays so well at Hilton Head, but it was really clear to me by watching the golf yesterday why he plays so well. I think he was first in driving distance and first in driving accuracy. Obviously, he's very comfortable around this golf course, but having your son, I talked about it on the show last week, having your son caddying for you, and his son is so positive. And I actually called a couple of my players, Diane, or our players, and talked to them about, well, we know that Stewart Sink finally hasn't got his swing fixed. He's doing this with a superior attitude. And what is that attitude? It seems to me like he's not bothered by any bad shot. He had one ball that came up against a stick, looked like anything could have happened. He just calmly played the shot up to the green, made his 4 and went on. He has the best attitude, the most positive outlook, and he's doing it with his son, and he's making it look easy, Diane.
I was thinking that if you were partaking in some adult beverages and watching the golf on Sunday and you had to take a drink every time they mentioned his son Regan was on the bag, or that he was 47 years old, or the Calabogie sound, like that would have made for a bit of a tipsy day. But I mean, as you say, he had a strategy. We talked about the fact that this is a very strategic golf course and Pete Dye course. He really wanted you to play the axis on many holes, and as you illustrated in your drawings this week. And Stewart Sink obviously had that strategy nailed, and he wasn't going to go away from that.
Yeah, it seems, we're playing this week at TPC New Orleans, another Pete Dye golf course. We've learned a lot about Pete Dye in the last month or so. The Players' Championship, of course, is one of his famous, but none's more famous than Hilton Head. And Hilton Head became a bigger, greater test when all the big oaks started to encroach into the design, and it made it even more strategic. We see in these players, and we watch it on the TV, how narrow the corridors are. And here we have one of the biggest hitters, one of the big free swingers, Stewart Sink, just playing it to perfection. We were right, I must say, Diane, with a lot of other picks, and you can tell us who they were because they were all right there. But Hilton Head does favor a style of play, and that's a straight hitter.
Well, for one thing, we did have Stuart Sink as a sizzler. And when we looked at him at the start of the week, he was 225 to 1. And you had said on the show on Monday morning that you couldn't believe that he was 225 to 1. I've had tweets from people who watched our show and got him at 175 to 1 when it went live on the Wednesday. So, I mean, that's perfect. It's great that we're helping people win a bit of cash. But as you say, we also picked out Corey Connors, who ended up finishing in a tie for 4th. Matt Fitzpatrick, he finished in a tie for 4th. Chris Kirk was 7th alongside Colin Morikawa. Webb Simpson, the defending champion, finished in a tie for 9th. So yeah, we had a really successful week when it came to our picks.
We certainly did. And this week is a slightly different idea because it's a team event, and we're going to have to break it down for him this week, Diane. I know a lot about this golf course. I was lucky enough to be the co-designer with Pete Dye of this TPC New Orleans. So I know everything there is to know about the golf course, but what we've got to break down is how are these teams going to be put together and what advantage or disadvantage do they have in this format?
And there you go. That's all coming up on our Tour Report this week.